Good morning, hello and welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. Today I've got this card to show you. I recently shared this card on a blog post featuring projects that used embossing, and I've used vellum and also cardstock and sponged it with a blending brush to show up the embossing. But I wanted to show you the card that inspired me. So this card here is the one that has inspired the layout out of my card. So can you see I took it in a totally different direction. I didn't use this stamp set because I don't have it, but I used what I had that to make it look similar to that. And it has the leaf fall embossing in the background there that you can see. So that's where my inspiration came from for this card. And I've used, as I said, a blending brush to add colour to my embossing. The wooden textural elements, these are actually part of the Holly suite. What's it called? I can't remember off the top of my set. Boughs of Holly or something like that. Can't remember. I could look through the catalogue for you. But I love their wooden texture and wooden image, and I've used them for this card here. And they're so soft, easy to colour too. They're great for colouring. I've also used the Leaf Label and Amber Gem combo pack. And I'll get out the gems because I'll be using them. But I've also got out 2 leaves already. Now what I have done with these leaves though, to give them more texture and make them look a bit more autumny, is I've run them through the painted texture embossing folder. It's a fairly splodgy sort of painty look, but it works for lots of things to give it a really lovely texture. So I've just run those 2 leaves through that folder. So there's one bit of embossing I've used on my project, and also the leaf fall embossing folder is the other one I've used for my project, and it's got the leaves. This is a really autumn type of project, which I do love, sort of my colours really. The only ink I've used is Soft Suede, which is one of my favourites. And then I've also using Sending Smiles. This is a great versatile stamp set that works with lots and lots of things. And it has coordinating sending dies. And the dies I've used for my project are the word sending, and one of the labels, and then this leaf, which actually works to cut out that stamped image. But I've used it, I can put them out of the way because I have done all my embossing and die cutting beforehand, so you didn't have to watch that. I've used the sending and the leaf dies to cut out some of our gold glimmer paper, which comes in a pack of gold and evening evergreen and vanilla. There's the label out of vanilla cardstock. And I've also used a bit of Texture Chick Designer Series paper just to highlight my sending greeting there. I did originally want to use the gold foil side, but it became lost, the word sending, so I had to go for the other side, which is about shells. And then here's my piece of vellum, which I've embossed with the leaf fall folder. The beautiful thing about vellum, when you emboss it, it comes up with this lovely, if I take it away from the card, maybe you'll see white. Vellum embosses with a lovely white image, which is really lovely. And then for my inside of my card, I've also embossed some cardstock. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is bring in my scrap piece of paper and my blending brush that I've used with Soft Suede. I'm probably not going to add too much more ink. There's already enough ink in it. And can you see how it brings out the leaves there? Just as I rub the ink over that embossed image, the raised surface picks up the lovely ink I've got already on my brush. Okay, so that's it done for the front of the card. Maybe a bit more on this leaf. There we go. And then the inside of the card, the same thing. I'll just rub over the top of those leaves As I said, I didn't ink it up. I've just used what was already on the brush. I actually have my blending brushes. I have a couple of sets of blending brushes, and they have them, I should show you, actually designated to particular colour families. Yeah. Oops, oh my goodness, sorry. Am I good? Hang on. I've got to be careful reaching around because I bump things. Okay, here's all my embossing, blending brushes. So I've got greens, purples, yellows, reds and blues, and a specific one for white. So that's how I keep my brushes like that. Okay. All right, and the last thing, oh no, I also have to emboss sponge, put some colour on these two. And because I've used the craft cardstock, which is a bit darker than the other two, I will ink up my brush a bit more and rub that over these, just so that it highlights that lovely texture and the edges of the, look at that beautiful silhouette created on my scrap paper. There you go. Can you see the difference between that one and that one? Just a little bit more detail on the leaf that's got that crushed autumny sort of look to it. There you go. A bit more, I'm adding a bit of pressure there so I can really get the ink into those grooves. Okay, so that's my two leaves done. And last of all, I will, look at that. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Use it as a mask, hey? I'm going to add my greeting to stamp, and this is my favourite greeting out of this stamp set. It has all sorts of fabulous greetings. There's sending smiles across the miles, all the good luck your way, sending sunshine to brighten your day, love and big hugs, birthday wishes, a note of thanks, a card to say hello, and comfort and strength. So you could use this stamp set for so many different occasions, but my favourite is love and big hugs, because that's sort of cards I like to give to people. There we go, so I've done that. And now it's basically time to start putting my card together. I've got all my elements, all my bits and pieces. And if you like any of these bits and pieces, feel free anytime to ask me about them. Get in contact with me. I've got my email there, or you can just go straight to my online store and order any of these items. Today is a good day to order because there is free shipping today. So I placed a big order this morning, ready for my retreat day coming up in 3 weeks' time, a little bit less than 3 weeks' time. Okay, so with this particular one, vellum shows through adhesive, although I have found it doesn't show through this adhesive at all, so I really do like using it. But what I will do is focus my adhesive right on the center, which is where all my greeting will be and all the elements, so they will camouflage any adhesive that you might see. Okay, so there you go. That's where my adhesive was, and you can't see it, which is amazing about this steel. It is really, really great. All right, now this one here, I just want to flag the ends, and I'm going to do it the lazy way and fold my paper in half and just snip it off. Fold my paper in half and snip. There we go. That's done. And before I put all that together, I'll add my seal to the back of that. And now these leaves are actually from a tag label set, as you might have seen. And I did use these leaves on some kit bags for my last craft retreat day. But I don't want to show off the holes on my card. So I'm going to strategically place them underneath my label here, there, and over the top of this one I've got this bit stuck. So I'll just put a bit of seal behind there and pop that over over there. Oh, that's still sticky behind there, so I'll just pop that there. Okay. So those ones are stuck there. I'll also add my other gold leaf. I might just, oh, I've stuck that down. So I'm going to cover that up with my greeting. So stick that one. Nope, I've run out of adhesive there. And the arrangements, as I said, for this were that I was inspired by the catalogue and used the arrangements on there. Okay, so I think that's it for those ones. So I'm going to stick that onto my card now using dimensionals. Oh, here they are. Behind all of these. There we are. So this will make it stick up a bit and I can tuck in my other bits and pieces behind. All right, and on an angle so that everything fits in nicely. There we go. Now these dudes. What I do like to use on these wooden things to stick them is actually mini glue dots. Liquid glue works really, really well too. But if you know me, I will have to use it for the greeting. But I'm not a big fan of sticky fingers, so I wimp out and use mini glue dots as much as I possibly can so that I don't get sticky fingers, because I'm a bit sooky like that. Okay, just pull the backs off these. 1, 2. Those mini glue dots I'm using are actually leftovers from a kit. When you buy a kit, you get absolutely everything you could possibly need, including adhesives. All of your supplies. I'm just tucking you in here. Goodness gracious. There we are. It's better. Stick you down. And then this one. Yeah, including adhesives. And there's always more than you need. So I always have leftover mini glue dots that I can use on my projects. Now, let's see if I can stick this underneath here, which is what I had done before. Found a little way to stick it in, under and over. There we are. Okay, this one I will use mini dimensionals because it's a skinny little label. One. I'm going to use a few just to make it stay in place there. And one more. There we are. And I've got bits of backing paper all over the place. They're all backed off. Rightio. Sending. Now we have to stick on the sending. So I could use mini glue dots on the back of these, but actually what does work the best is, as you know, liquid glue. So I'm using the large wide end up here, squeeze out a bit, pick it up on the applicator. That way I don't have too much, hopefully. And there we are. That's all done. Pick that up with my Take Your Pick tool so it's not too sticky for my delicate fingers. There we are. And sending. Sending love and big hugs. And finally, some sparkle. These beautiful amber gems. And see, I have sticky fingers even with all of my preparation and care. And one more there. I think that might do me. All right. There's my second Sending Love and Big Hugs card for you. And remember, if you have any questions, please contact me. email me or make a message to this video, and I'll reply to all messages when I'm finished. And if you want to order today, it's free shipping. Just let me know and I'll help you out. Bye-bye now. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.